The Motortown YouTube community has no shortage of different tips and strategies for making the most money, ranging from the most basic ones like contracts and shortcuts, all the way to the most ridiculous stuff where I start to question if it's even worth the time and effort. But I'm not here to judge anyone's methods. Instead, I want to show you something that will greatly improve your earnings and will amplify any money-making strategy you might be employing. Because you see, there is one crucial gameplay mechanic that nobody seems to talk about. And in this video, I will show you everything you need to know about the supply and demand system and how mastering it will help you make the most out of every single delivery. Welcome to Motortown Hub. Let's start with the basics. When picking up a new delivery, you've probably noticed that a lot of jobs have a little percentage value next to them. This amount indicates the base payment for the delivery, and it can range from 100%, which is a minimal payment you can get, all the way to 200%, which is a maximum possible base payment. So basically, if the multiplier is high, you can as much as double the amount of coins for a given delivery. And all the additional rewards, like the town bonus or the on-time delivery bonus, will be calculated based on this number, which means even more money. Usually, this multiplier value is somewhere in the middle, and it might almost look random, but it is far from being the actual case. In fact, there is a very simple principle which defines this value, and you can easily manipulate it to get a 200% payment every time. Let's say you're delivering goods from Industry A to Industry B. There are two things that you need to pay attention to. How much stock does Industry A have, and how much free space there is available at Industry B. The balance of these two values will decide your base payment. Initially, Industry A starts out being full to the brim, while Industry B is completely empty. This is pretty much a perfect state, and you will have a maximum possible base payment multiplier of 200%. But as you start moving the cargo from one industry to another, you will start to notice how the balance is shifting. As Industry A becomes emptier and Industry B fills up, the multiplier will keep decreasing until it reaches the worst case scenario, where Industry A has very little stock and Industry B is almost full. At this point, the base payment is at its lowest, and if you're after some cash, then this is something you don't want to see. Let me demonstrate this principle in practice by taking a look at one of the most popular jobs in the game, the coal deliveries. As you can see, our coal mine is nice and full. But while the steel coils job sits at a comfortable 200% multiplier, the H-beam job only offers a value close to 150%. This is because the coal storage for steel coils is completely empty, giving us a big multiplier, while the coal storage for H-beams is almost full, causing a smaller reward. Now, with the magic of editing, let's empty out the coal mine. Okay, that's enough of that. Now let's take a look at what's happened. As you can see, almost every job suddenly pays significantly less. The steel coils job now only has a 150% multiplier, while the H-beam delivery sits at almost 100%, significantly decreasing the reward. To summarize, if you want to get the highest possible reward, the starting industry needs to be as full as possible, and the destination industry needs to be completely empty. And don't ask me why it works like that. I am not a damn economist. Who needs economy when you can make videos about a silly video game anyway? In any case, you're probably wondering, where is the trick? Well, the thing is, you can actually tailor your single-player world to your own needs, turning it into your personal golden goose, if you will. By strategically oversupplying certain industries and starving others, you can bend supply and demand to your will and maximize the payouts for your favorite jobs. But if you will just deliver your cargo as usual, then this balance will slowly get ruined. So if you want to maintain the high reward multiplier, this is where you will have to get creative. The goal is to deliver your cargo without actually filling up the destination industry, and there are several different ways to go about it. As an example, let's take a look at the H-beams again. Firstly, you could set up a company truck route, so it would pick up the finished steel beams and deliver them to their final destination. This will keep your steel mill hungry for more coal, and you will also make some extra money from the company driver. Secondly, you could just load up some H-beams and simply despawn the vehicle, thus removing them from the game. This will achieve the same result, but it is quite wasteful. Just keep in mind that in the case of the steel mill, you will have to make sure that it is actually stocked with limestone and iron ore, so that the delivered coal can be instantly processed into the steel beams without accumulating in the storage. However, there is a third way that I want to show you, and it involves you going online. This method requires the least amount of effort and is probably the quickest one. Think of it as server hopping, but instead of stealing resources from others, you will be bringing your own cargo with you. Just load the truck at your single-player world, then join any online server and deliver your cargo there. When finished, you can come back to your single-player world and repeat. Win-win for everyone. Your industries will stay unaffected, the payment multiplier will stay high, and no server will be upset with you for bringing in more goods. Understanding how supply and demand works and how to manipulate it will ensure that you get the most amount of money for your work and will translate well into any crazy money-making strategy you might be using. But keep in mind that this will reliably work only in your single-player world. If you play online, prices will always be all over the place, and there is not much you can do to control them. Not to mention that many servers go out of their way to ensure that all industries are well stocked, which is admirable, but it also ruins payouts for certain jobs. So if you're on a grind to get some money, sticking with the single player might be the safest bet. Before we finish, there's one last thing I want to talk about real quick. You might be thinking, why don't I just deliver the coal to Dasa Harbor? It is a bottomless pit after all. Unfortunately, it is not as bottomless as it might seem. While harbors and other similar destinations do not show any capacity indicator, it is still there, just hidden. And every cargo load you deliver here will still add to an imaginary stockpile. So after a few trips to Dasa Harbor, the prices will start to drop as well. This being said, this is still one of the best paying jobs in the game. It is just important to know that even this destination can be oversaturated. And now you'll know what to do to prevent this from happening. This is all I got for you today. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. I want to thank everyone for your support and for your messages. And a special thank you goes to all of the channel members. You have no idea how much your support means to me. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I will see you all behind the wheel.